everyone. Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils. And you're listening to the Uncle Pucker's New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go, Devils!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Uncle Puckers. I'm Chris with Mr. Tim. Thought we were going to get some more guys on today, but everybody is super busy. What's up, Timmy?
Yeah, nothing, hanging in there. Been very busy, very cold, but other than that, living the dream, Chris, living the dream.
Well, that's good to hear, because I'm like, other than work or whatever and family, like everything else really in the general world, right, kind of sucks right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you put the news on and it's never good news. It's just the most horrible news all the time. We get finite little joys in life throughout our existence, right? Yes, there's those extreme happinesses, right? The birth of your children, purchase of your first home, getting married, whatever. And there's extreme lows and they're terrible, but in the middle, there's just like a few finite joys that we get as humans. And for me, and I think I speak for you as well, and probably all of our listeners, following the Devils is one of those joys, one of those finite little things in our lives. They're making our life miserable right now. What is going on with this team, Tim?
I don't know, man. It's just like there's a lot wrong with it. I actually have an extensive amount of notes, but it's a lot of the same stuff we're talking about before this whole season. Nothing continues to change, Well, actually, let's talk about that. One thing did change.
Finally.
And
Tom Fitzgerald lives.
Hilariously. Now that Luke got hurt, Fitz probably pivoted off of Dougie and moved on to Palat. And look, Palat never worked out. It was a terrible contract to start with. I think it was pretty unjustifiable. But to take this long to unload him was a problem. And I think, honestly, it had a bit of an effect on some of the guys in the game last night.
I agree.
Last night was pretty sloppy. And, you could see and hear it, some of the guys' comments after the game, particularly Nico. So, but you got to move on. I'm not going to say I'm over the moon for this new kid. But he has some talent. Like his mixtapes from the KHL and last year for the Islanders, he does some good shit. And he's a big boy, 6'3", 200, something like that. Yeah, hopefully he can find a home for him. Hopefully he plays better than he has been this year. He kind of was a little bit homeless on the island. So yeah.
And when it comes to this trade, I'm not sure. I haven't been on social too much or seeing how Devils' reactions are. I would assume most of them are positive about this trade just because, it's, as far as the contract, it's a huge upgrade. We weren't getting any production from Palat. This guy has a lot more upside. And it's a better deal. And I think it's a good deal for the Islanders too. Like they're planning on making the playoffs this year. And, until we can take back a 9-0 victory from them, who the hell are we to say different? Palat can be a very good piece for them this year if they're actually.
Well, it's so down on the very good
the
piece.
Only redeeming quality Devil fans gave Andre Palat was, yeah, we know he sucks. We know he does this. We know he does that. But come playoff time, the dude is good. And his game does get a lot better in the playoffs. And that was his only redeeming quality. And for that, the Islanders got it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. They did make 2 questionable moves, also picking up Stussy. So it's kind of like, everybody's sort of praising Darsh and now, picks up 2 veteran big contracts, with no retention. People kind of like, what's he doing over there?
The most surprising thing about this whole deal is the fact that Tom Fitzgerald somehow managed to get the Islanders to eat the entire contract. And I'm guessing that's what the 2 late round picks are, basically for a little sweetener. But still, the fact that we didn't retain anything, that's fucking big.
It's good. I think we have like 3 million-ish added to the cap, 6 million total. So I think, the real implications of what happens with this trade is what Fitz does now. And very curious to see what he thinks is going on with his team, because I think this is kind of emblematic of his entire tenure. That's just too little, too late. And this entire team right now, everything they do is too little, too late. Last night, too little,
Yeah.
too late. And it's just, it's been one of the probably more frustrating years in my time as a Devils fan. Just watching this team. But I do think, I did see them kind of turning a corner a little bit. Their play's been better. The game's been better. I think the Palat thing affected them last night, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. I could be wrong. They could just get, go right back to fucking dropping another 2 in a row, and that's that.
And giving back everything that they gained on the East Coast, on the
Yeah.
West Coast swing,
Yeah. I mean,
that's
that's what they did with the 8-game winning
yeah,
streak. They gave it right back.
yep.
You know.
And now I'm kind of done, man. Like last night was just disgusting. Like if you couldn't get up for that game with all the things that happened, right? The Johnny Mac celebration. And I know there is something to the coming first game home from a long road trip. I kind of get that, but Johnny Mac being there, the celebration, like the inspiring words too that he actually said to that team, right? Like talking about how it's going to be your first, it's going to be your moment here at the Prudential Center. Like if that doesn't get you fired up to play a fucking great game, Palat going out, that should have gotten you fired up to play a fucking great game instead of making you guys head cases. And then Glass going down should have been the final thing that kind of coalesced this team, and they should have gone out. And the game shouldn't even have been close. The pristine opportunities that Jack Hughes had alone, and just could not bury anything. Like this
did you
is
see
like
anything? Did you see anything about Glass? I didn't see anything today.
no, I haven't
I had my
heard
head down
anything.
work wise all day today. Haven't heard anything. They didn't practice or anything. So, yeah, it's just it's just kind of pathetic to say. The best part about last night is that Blitzer got a front row seat to that. So hopefully he saw the kind of dysfunction in front of him of what was going on. Like I think if you look at each goal in kind of its in isolation, they were all basically, two of them were actually, three of them were bad changes, and then one of them was kind of unlucky with Glass, whatever happened to him. That Winnipeg's a one-line team, and
Yep.
like that's the mantra going in, like shut down this line, and fucking a minute and a half into the game, terrible
Terrible
change.
line change.
Yeah. So it's shitload of odd man rushes, bad changes, and trying to shut down that line. My biggest issue again is like this neutral zone play. Like these motherfuckers cannot connect on a pass for their life. Whether it's a grenade launcher launching it from the fucking D to our forwards who just suddenly all have concrete hands. Like one of the goals, I think it might have been the first one, was 100% on Brat. Like he perfect pass to him in the neutral zone. He has plenty of space. No one's on top of him, and he just fumbles it, and they turn it around and send it back the other way. And like the D, like Pesci, I think was the one changing, and like Pesci's like, oh, that's Brad. Like he's gonna be shorthanded about it. I don't know what the fuck happened to Brad, but like I'm so fucking done with this guy. I generally, it just feels like we're trying to win games 2-1 when we don't have the personnel to win games 2-1. We don't have the defense to play the defensive structure that they want to play. We don't have the talent for it. And it's just, it's all being exposed. They told on themselves a lot, so really curious to see what they do from here. I have some thoughts on it, but
What are some of your thoughts?
I don't know, same thing we've always been saying. Like I think it's time to move on from Brad and probably Timo. Like if we can package those two up and do a change of scenery swap with Brady and Drake Batherson in Ottawa, we probably have to add to that, whether whatever that is. Ottawa probably needs a goalie, so I don't know, what kind of goalie that looks like. So
I wouldn't be against any move to make this team better. Not any of them. But at the same time, I don't trust Tom Fitzgerald to be the guy to make any of these. I think there's lots of issues right now. Like we talked a little bit about it a couple of shows ago or whatever, but I think this team just lacks leadership. Like you sent me a clip of Brick City Hockey Apparel. It was like shameless plug, right? Of their new shirt, right? And
Yeah,
it's Scott.
that's a great shirt. I'm gonna
Yeah,
pick up one of those.
and it's from Scott Stevens' immortal point to the Red Wings bench after he got into a fight and just pointed to him, the whole bench, telling them they were next. It was a big hit, not a fight. And that was a fucking leader. Like that was a dude this team rallied around. When he spoke, everybody listened. I don't think we are even close to having a guy like that in this dressing room.
No, I don't think so either. You know, and we talked about Timo last time, and I think, you know, the idea of Timo isn't what we're getting. I
No.
love the idea of Timo, it's just not what we're getting. And I think Brady Tkachuk is the guy that we think we get with Timo. And if people want to argue with me that Brady isn't like he's some fucking knucklehead, like he's a point per game player right now. You know, I realized he was hurt earlier, but he has an 80-point season, a 70-point season under his belt. Like, and you want to talk advanced stats? Like, if anybody wants to be like, he doesn't do anything, it's like bullshit. Like he'd be our best play driver on this team right now with some of his
Not
expected
without a
goals
doubt.
numbers, his expected goals for numbers. Like him and Batherson, I think would be the two guys that I'd try to pry out of Ottawa, because in Ottawa it's not working. Like their goaltending is sinking, is fucking absolutely sinking them.
And if you don't want to buy into the stats or whatever, it's just go with the simple fact that Brady Tkachuk is just a big, mean dude with a chip on his shoulder. And I think we are in fucking serious lack of that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like the people that argue against Brady bring up advanced stats. It's like, all right, I'll fucking throw advanced stats at you. He fucking would be our best team. Like, I think he'd be our best fucking forward right now. You know, you put him on a line with Jack, like they'd fucking cook. I think, you know, I know people are down on Nico. I don't think there's much you can do about giving up, you know, a 2C like him. Like, I think that kind of doesn't put us in a very good position.
No,
So
I
my
think in
thing
all
would,
honesty, Nico and Jack are untouchable. It's just that simple.
yeah, I think you kind of need to retool around them, and I think it's Brat and Timo. Like, my ideal trade would be Brat and Timo in some way, shape, or form for like Brady and Batherson. I think we need to get rid of probably one of Siegenthaler or Dillon to find a better puck moving defenseman. And, you know, God knows what's happened to Luke, but like this motherfucker, like he needs to get his shit back together. We need that kid that was there at the end of the season last year where his fucking stock was up and up and up. Like, I don't know what happened to him, but he's a disaster. You know, Nemec has been kind of a mess in the D zone. There's someone posted on Twitter who has tickets behind the bench, posted that Jack was yelling at Nemec on the bench last night after something. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't see it, but you know, it was probably on that breakout where Jack and Nemec were behind the net. And Nemec just kind of standing there. It was a little bit of a weird play. So I don't know.
I would do that trade in a heartbeat. And I don't know many Devil fans that wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, it's a great hockey trade. It's a big ass hockey trade. Tom Fitzgerald would never have the balls.
No, he wouldn't. He absolutely wouldn't.
No,
he absolutely wouldn't.
And that's all part of it. Like now it comes down, like this is just, you know, we can't ask, you know, them to investigate their own. Like Tom Fitzgerald should not be the guy that ownership puts in charge of whatever happens after this year. It's just, he is not capable of seeing something, having any vision towards how to build a fucking team. He had his shot. He blew it. He needs to go, like, regardless what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he's already correcting his mistakes. My biggest issue now is like with Luke down, like that he's going to also now trade Dougie. Like, I don't think we're going to. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs, even though I still say we're going to make the playoffs. I don't know why everybody's just so against Nico and Jack. Like, just it's fucking stupid.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No,
Jack
I don't.
No,
I wouldn't either.
No, I just think Jack Hughes, there's, you know, doesn't always work out for him, and he has his ups and downs, but I still believe that wherever this team is headed, he's going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, I just don't see. I mean, you know, regardless of people's feelings for him, he's not going anywhere. So I think he's. I don't think Brady is overrated. I
No,
think he has enough of a track record. My only concern about Brady is actually his injury history. He does the past 2 years he's had injuries, but the 2 years before that he's played almost full season. So I have no concerns about that. Ben Batherson's a fucking stud too. And if we could somehow pry like Jordan Spence out of them, I know they're probably going to rebuild around Sanderson. Um, but I think you put Bratt with like Timmy Stutzla, like they'd be a good pair, and then let like Pinto and Timo Cook. Like I think that's in
it could.
perfect world. That's my fucking fantasy land. But like if Fitz is still here, we're gonna do this again next year. It's
Yep,
gonna be the same
that's
fucking
the
team
point.
next year. And like I've said it before. Like with Keith's a very good coach. I think he's very much a square peg for a round hole. Like I don't think he's the right coach for this group. I think just
Well,
the way they're playing
you
isn't
mentioned
productive
earlier.
hockey.
You mentioned earlier that you think that this team right now is okay with just playing, 3-2 games, 2-1 games, right? Is that Keith? Is that or is that just I don't know, like are there training wheels on these guys? Are they just
I don't know.
incapable of playing good offense? Like that's what I'm.
I've noticed a couple times the past couple games. So one of my biggest issues is their kind of neutral zone regrouping, where the D just fucking sit there, right? I've mentioned this over and over and over again, where the D just sit there with the puck. I noticed a couple times last night where D thought about passing, but then didn't and just waited until do that tip pass. And then if you notice when we were down 4-1 in the third period, they were moving the puck up quicker and we were actually getting much better opportunities getting through the neutral zone. It wasn't it's not pretty, but what are these two talking about? It wasn't pretty, but like they're getting through the neutral zone and getting into the zone better. And it's just I feel like they're letting other teams get too set up and too structured against them. So I don't know if that's Keith. I don't know if that's Fitz giving Keith the directive to we want to play
Right.
this style of hockey and find a system that works. But the players aren't buying into something. The players aren't listening. Like I just think this is just a fucking utter disaster. Like what a shit show.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what else we're going to sit here and talk about. I agree with you.
I know what we're going to talk about. We're
What
going
are
to
we going
talk
to
about
talk
the
about?
bright shining light that is Lenny Hamaniho.
I really like this kid. I think him and Gritzuk, I love these guys.
Yeah.
I do. I want them to be Devils forever.
Yeah. Well, I said that about Brett and fucking Timo, but
Yeah, absolutely.
I've said that
Said it
about every
about
player, I think, at one
sure.
point, maybe except for
Um,
Marsham. Speaking of goaltending, Allen was pretty rough last night too. Like that one 2-on-1 goal. I realized it's 2-on-1, but it went right under his pad. It's like
but they played such bad defense. He kept them actually
it's
in that
yeah.
game.
I don't know. Like
He made some big saves.
it's a lot like Marsham in the game before. It's like, did he help? Probably not. Did he hurt? Probably not. But it certainly wasn't great. Like we could have probably used a stop there.
Right.
But like it's
And
other goalies make stops on 2-on-1s. Other goalies make stops on breakaways. Like when Jack stripped Logan Stanley twice in a row.
twice.
Stop twice. It's like Timo fucking clean breakaway. That was actually a nice play from Pratt. Timo clean breakaway. It's like I don't know why these guys can't fucking score. It is
Nope.
crazy that they can't score.
And I mean, what do you think we talked a little bit about the trade, but like what do you think Siplikov can bring?
I have no idea. A little lunch buddy for Gritsuk.
That's what I was thinking. Is it
Like
just him
yeah,
and Dodonov not getting along?
it's like two brothers and their dad
Yeah,
just chilling out.
exactly.
I don't know. He's got some good talent. He's a big boy. He's got a lot of hits. So he'll be. It depends on where they want to put him or what their intention is. Like, is their intention to waive him and send him down to Utica? Is their intention to throw him on the fourth line and hope they get kind of a McEwen-ish bump or something like that? I really have no idea. And because they didn't practice today, I don't know. Like, are they gonna like dress him tomorrow or not?
I
Like,
hope
I
so.
really have no idea. Like, not hearing anything today is kind of wild.
I'm fine with maybe Cotter taking a game off. He's
Yeah,
terrible. He's
yeah.
fucking terrible.
Cotter, he's so bad.
Yes,
Like,
he stinks.
what was it? Where he was circling around the net and just like ran into Dougie,
Yeah,
and then they went
I
the
mean,
other way on like a 3-on-1. It's like, what
every
are you
time he
fucking
has the
idiots
puck,
doing?
I'm yelling at the TV, "Do something!"
In
And
one,
he
yeah,
never does anything.
yeah,
He
he
has a
another play where he cut across the middle and just lost the puck, and it's
yeah.
like, man, like, I
I
don't
want
know.
to see Siplikov. I want to see the new toy we got. I want to see him in the lineup.
Yeah, yeah, like he wasn't having a great season in the on the
Yeah,
island, but hopefully, he's only playing like 9 minutes a night, not really getting the usage that he has. I don't know. His KHL electric or highlight reel is fucking electric. Um, but I just players don't have it this year. It's a wrong mix of players. I feel like none of them are on the same page. Feels like, we just have guys that are just checked out. Like look, Jack, I think had a really good game last night, but I
yeah,
think there is something to be said where he's just got his eye on the Olympics right now and not really on the Devils. And I think that's true. And I think there is some maturity that this kid still needs to get.
I agree with that. I agree with
So
that. And that makes me
um,
worry. Like, they're not playing as a cohesive unit. Is that because is there rifts in this locker room? Like, that's something else I
I don't
think
know.
about too.
Like I honestly I think, there could be, like if not to relitigate this, but the Chicago cut story. Like, what if it was something else and it was something really stupid that Jack did that all the veterans and other guys were like, "Are you fucking kidding me, you stupid fuck?" And that kind of caused a bit of a rift in the locker room. I
I
have
think we
no
all
idea.
thought that.
None of us are in the room. They say all the right things. They do all the right. They say all the right things, but something is clearly wrong with this team.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for the book.
Yeah, right. We'll find out fucking 20 years later on like Spit and Chicklets or
Exactly.
something like that. Um, oh God, I think someone in the comments brought it up earlier, but our fans did the wave in the third period.
Yeah, I heard
It's like, why don't you be a little more productive and boo Fitzgerald?
they did the wave.
They did the wave. It's like, what? Come on,
This is
what are
why
you doing?
nothing will get done with this team because we were losing by 2 goals and our 17,000 fans thought it'd be more productive to stand up and sit back down again
Yeah,
than it would be to actually boo.
like I don't know why they're not booing. Like we started the season 9-0-1 at home, right? Since
They should have
then,
been booed off the ice after the second period.
yeah, they absolutely should have. Since we started 9-0-1 at home, they're 3-10-1 at
Jesus
home.
Christ.
Their record against the Metro is 4-9-1.
They're
It's just
seriously, I mean, they're fucking garbage.
this is garbage. This is now 3 years of this trash. Like it's
Yeah.
just, look, I think we should keep Nico and Jack, but if they find a good deal for both of them or Luke and just tear it down to the studs and rebuild around Gritzik and Lenny, sure. I'll have at it. Maybe it'll be more fun with talking about prospects and stuff. Maybe we'll
It would
get
be
guys
because
to
this is
line up with
frustrating.
Yegorov.
This is fucking frustrating and this is annoying. And the fans deserve a hell of a lot better than this bullshit that they're throwing out to us
Mm-hmm.
every other night.
They're just stuck in second gear. Like for some reason, we know they all have another gear. It's just they refuse to hit it. They
you
refuse
keep
to get there.
you keep waiting for that game, right? That's just that can't miss game where we just put 7 or 8 up. Like every game, I'm like, they're going to do it today. This is where it's going to kind of finally click, and all these guys are going to start finding the
Yeah.
back of the net.
And
And every
you
night,
watch other teams and you watch highlights of other teams score goals. You're like, it's so easy. It seems so fucking easy.
yeah,
Like, why is it so hard for these guys?
yep, I'm with you. It's been brutal, but. All right, Timmy, anything
Yeah.
else you want to talk about tonight? Because I figure, we got another game coming up and the guys want to get involved. So I figure we'll have a much longer, funner show. Not
Yeah.
that this
Let's have
wasn't fun. It was always awesome and fun talking to you and our listeners. I just meant like more laughs.
yeah. No, yeah. That's good to see your face, Chris. Good to see everybody here. Good to see you, Mr. White. Good to see you, Mike.
Yeah, there's a couple of new names tonight.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Thanks, guys. And we're all in the same boat. It's kind of come here for some
it's
therapy.
just fucking embarrassing. A little therapy.
And who knows? Maybe Fitz finally has a green light, or he's gonna actually says, "Fuck this, I'm done. If I want to keep my job, I got to actually do something." And maybe some significant changes get made. Maybe.
Yeah.
We got to be hopeful.
What? I do not.
I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
All right.
For
See ya.
tuning, I'm Chris. We're the Uncle Puckers. Peace out. Latest.
Eat a dick, Valley.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!
Mike Ruff's got to stop sending dick pics to all of us.